stars to another episode of The Lone Roller. It is I, the player, the traveler, the GM, the one who bookkeeps, the one that does all the voices, and who's just basically rolling dice just to talk to himself, Leon. Guys, it is another episode that I am recording for you, and last time we were here, Talti and Prayuh were involved after being detained by the planet's resistance forces, which was Kyra's contact of a person of Taimur or Rasheed. I think we're just going to go ahead and just refer to him as Rasheed from here on out. It's just a lot easier. And during that time, the resistance took Talti and Prayuh in custody, arrested them, put them in their own cells, and overhearing the conversation, Talti picked up the resistance leader, Rasheed, talking to them that Talti in their favor would work better, as opposed to trying to turn him into turn him in for the bounty, because it would have served no purpose. And it was just another way of that they're just going along with the status quo, and they want to fight against that because they're under a fascist, militaristic government of their planet. And during that, they were about to be taking back out Prayuh and Talti, and then something happened, and the weather went crazy and started shaking things up. And then on top of that, the military forces tried to ambush the resistance, but luckily enough, they were able to escape being captured. So Prayuh, Talti, Rasheed the leader, and a number of resistance forces and an array of vehicles were all able and managed to escape the ambush. Where we now pick up our scene is just after that. So there are some bookkeeping things that we have to do. And I will say, even though, yes, things worked out in Talti's favor, but that doesn't mean Talti was in control. In other words, he had no control of the fact that there was an ambush. He had no control over the fact that there was a really tumultuous weather storm that hit at the same time. And plus the fact that Rasheed had to take him, well, he was taken prisoner initially and then was released and ran into Rasheed during the scramble and the fray, and they were able to escape. So still, to me, that's not in control. Even though it worked out kind of favorably for Talti, he wasn't in control. Ergo, the chaos factor goes back up, which is now 6. Cool. So we have Rasheed. He's a new character that just came in. So we have him written down here on our end. Yep. And so, as always, as we begin the scene has to begin with the fact that they made it, did they make it to their place safely? What have you. But before we begin the scene, we just roll on the chaos factor, and remember, if it goes below, a random event happens. 7. Scene proceeds as normal. So Rasheed and everyone else and all the resistance forces make their way to another base that's in a much safer environment. To me, we could ask the question, no, I'm not going to, because they already made the escape. I'm not going to ask if they are still in hot pursuit. I would like to think that they were able to stave off. So, did they I could ask the question, did they manage to escape without being followed? So we're going to call that 50-50 on a chaos factor of, chaos factor 6. $31. Yes, they managed to escape. Managed to escape the military without being further pursued. So that's a good thing. So they arrive at the new base as things get settled down and everyone gets settled in. Rasheed and Talti meet together, knowing the fact that one of the things they want to handle is rescuing Kyra's family from basically death. So that is where that's the thread we're following right now. Rasheed and Talti are sitting in a room together. Prayuh is also with them. Actually, I could ask the question: is Prayuh schmoozing about with everybody instead of sitting here in the room? 66. And it's kind of recurs a random event at the same time. So, on a chaos factor of 6, 50-50, it is a no, but it also incurs a little bit of a random event. Okay, so let's see. What is the nature of our event? 35. NPC action. All right. And who is our NPC? So NPC action, let's just say I'm going to say it's involving it is involving Prayuh not being there, and it might be involving yeah. But you know what? I think it's just better just to roll on it. So let's roll on the table, starting with this part. 2, so it's on that table. That's too funny. I'm just now realizing one of the character lists says Kyra's contact, which is Timur Rasheed. 6. So it involves NPC action. Kyra. Oh, man. Okay, let's see how this goes. What is the meaning of the event? 85. Strange. 82. Strange riches. NPC action. Kyra, who's injured, okay, so here's the question. Is somehow Kyra in recovery? Does she recover? Because strange riches. Oh, okay. So I'm going to ask a really quick, let's see, I can get more. Okay. Strange riches. Did somehow Kyra make it over here? Is she now mobile for some reason? Is it a way that she was able to get picked up and they found out? I don't know. Let's call it I'm going to call it unlikely. 89. Unlikely. Yeah. So, no, she's not here. But strange riches on strange riches, and it's NPC action on her. So to me, how we can interpret that is somehow this is an interesting one. How do we do this one? Okay, here's how we'll look at it. Strange riches, NPC action. So the other base that they go to is actually a sort of this palatial mansion type situation, and it's the weirdest thing that it's this great mansion. Talti, wondering about it, asked Rasheed, this mansion is very gauche. It's extravagantly strange. Where are we? Rasheed looks and goes, that's easy. This is Kyra's home. Her family is very rich indeed. And then we are able to use the base as our own because they don't use it anymore. Talti's kind of taken aback. What? Kind of, huh? Because I know it seems really strange. However, Kyra does come from a very rich background. Talti is going, if she was already in favor of a noble class, and before he even finishes, Rasheed just interrupts, but that's why She solved the problem with the aristocracy of our world and the military that runs it. That's why she joined the resistance. Because she knew she can help us in so many ways to bring about a much more equality among us everywhere. Now, Talti, we have to rescue her family. I don't know if I really want you a part of that mission. Talti goes, I understand, Rasheed, I really do. But I think I have a way of getting us in. You may think I myself is just a politician that's under the suspicion of corruption, but I can bring something to this table. I have a very silver tongue that can get to me almost anywhere. It's almost how I got into power. Rasheed kind of rubbed the wrong way about that, looks at him and goes, it's kind of politicians like you that really makes it hard for me to have this relationship with you right now. If I bring you along, you will help, but you will do as you're told. Do you understand me? Talti nods his head. It's fine. I completely understand. What do we have to do? First, Rasheed says, we have to find out where they're being detained. Right now, I'm going to send out scouts. They'll be a while. They have connections everywhere, and they'll be able to find something. So until then, let us wait. That seems fine, Rasheed. That seems very fine. I'm going to take my leave, and please come get me when you have found something out. I will do everything in my power and everything that I can to help you out. Rasheed looks at him. Can you shoot a gun? Can you shoot a gun? He asks. I've been known, Talti says, to wield a firearm from time to time, and I think I'm getting quite better at it. Rasheed nods. That could be useful, but stay with us, do as you're told. We'll get Kyra out of this, and we'll figure out what we'll do next with you. Talti nods. I understand, Rasheed. Thank you. And with that, Talti leaves the room and runs into Prayuh. Prayuh is sitting there going, so what's the word? Are we going on a mission to rescue that girl's family or what? Prayuh, you are, if anything, a very enthusiastic man. But we have to play the waiting game. And that waiting game involves waiting, as it be. I can see that you're a man that just wants to be quick about everything. But in this case, let us convene and get to know these resistance members. Yeah, well, that sounds like a really good idea. Maybe I can pick up a few things from these resistance people. They didn't have a gun like me. They don't have a firearm like me, and I'm a very quick shot, if you know what I mean. Prayuh, it's going to be a good relationship. Let's keep our heads down for now and play it safe. All right, I could do that. And with that, they move along with their time waiting for the scouts to come back and bring some information back about where Kyra's family is being held captive. Talti and Prayuh make their way down the corridor and convene to where everybody else is sitting, almost like a sort of a mess hall kind of situation. The resistance members talk amongst themselves. Some look up and see Prayuh and Talti walking in. They are haggard and roughed from the escape. All of them has taken it a toll on every one of their faces, and you can see the worn on all of them. Talti and Prayuh take a seat at one of the only very scant tables with only a couple of people. Talti and Prayuh make conversation with them for a little bit, getting to know them a little bit better, finding out that how the resistance has been surviving as long as it did, knowing the fact that because Kyra comes from money, strange riches as it would be, they were able to fund and get the weapons that they need along with finding these bases and getting them set up. Kyra has been shoveling money into this resistance because it is something that they believe in. Talti is impressed that the person who got caught, who got blackmailed, it's not surprising that at the end of the day, she got blackmailed. And it was surprising that he did not realize he was connected to somebody who was so important to this resistance. So I want to ask a question here. There are people here who don't like politicians, who don't like the fascism that they have been suffering. Is there someone here that's going to cause trouble to Talti and just give him shit? 50-50. 90. On a 90 chaos factor 50, or chaos factor 6, 50-50. No. Just a nice no. No one here is going to give him any trouble. Everybody here wants to know Talti, get to know Talti a little bit better. They just want to know he can bring something to this table. Talti says, I understand that everybody here comes from dire circumstances. And trust me, when I say this, my heart goes out to you. For you, the common folk, and the laborers, I see you. And I will make sure that when I can clear my name, that I will do something about the situation here. And I will convene with the galaxy consuls that we figure out something to bring down this tyranny of your planet. The resistance members all nod their heads, agreeing and finding and very much finding out that this person, Talti, though he is being wanted, is going to help them. Fantastic. Just then, scouts are coming in. Rasheed walks in. We found Kyra's captors. We now know where they are located, and we can do something. It's going to be a few of us, including you. Rasheed is pointing at Talti. Can my friend come along? He's a good shot. Pryor's like nodding his head. Pretty good shot. Rasheed looks at him and goes, no. I think it'd be better if our men were the ones that were doing this. Talti, you are coming with us because we need to make sure that when push comes to shove, we have you right there in case anything goes down. Maybe your silver tongue might do something. Who knows? Until then, we need to go on this mission to rescue that family. And that ends the scene. Thank you guys so much. Capybaras, you are awesome for tuning in and listening. This is going to conclude this scene, and then we'll pick up right when they go after to rescue Kyra's family. I'm Leon, and this has been another episode of The Lone Roller.